What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down Calvin Johnson and his route running ability. I think probably one of the best receivers of all time. Definitely the biggest mismatch, and this is going to be for my bigger receivers out there, how you guys can get separation when maybe you're not as quick as some of the smaller guys, how you can use your size to advantage. We're going to talk about some catching mechanics, and we're just going to talk about overall what you can do to get some separation, okay? And guys, if you want your film broken down, check out that link in the description underneath film breakdown. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is this shoulder dip technique to work to a restack, peek back technique, then working this out route. So let's watch it full speed. So you see here, he dips that shoulder, gets back on top of him, stick to the outside, catch this thing, and then get down. So main thing, when he dips this shoulder here, this DB's in a lose-lose situation, right? Because when you're always going forward, and especially when you're trying to take this inside release here, this DB, and I'm assuming he has safety help, right? This corner has safety help because he's giving up the inside. So maybe like a two-man look or something like that, okay? We don't really know for sure because obviously we can't see it. But when this DB just gives up the inside like this, probably not straight-up man coverage. Probably has some safety help, probably some double team because this is a very bigger, very physical receiver. So my bigger guys that are pretty athletic, that are some of the best receivers on your teams, you guys got to understand how to beat this double team, how to make these things work, okay? So most important when I got to take when I'm running an outside route and I take an inside release is I got to work to restack, right? So you see how he comes here. Now he dips that shoulder. Now why does he dip that shoulder? Because if he gets underneath these arms, he's just like a D lineman and he rips up, he's got no choice but to have his hands off of him, right? And when you don't have hands on a very big, very fast physical guy like Megatron here, we're going to get some separation. So we got to make sure when I dip my shoulder here, guys, that I'm physical and I'm still going forward and I'm still going fast, right? So when I dip my shoulder, I work up and now I'm working to restack. Now I'm in a very bad position if I'm this DB because I'm trailing his hip and now I completely compromise the outside. So you see how when he gets over the top here, gives a little bit of a peek back technique, right? Working his upper half, trying to hold this DB just to get him to hesitate a little bit to the inside, right? That's something that we always got to do every time we restack. We got to give him a move at the top of the route. We can't just run this thing because this DB's fast as well. We talked about that in previous videos, and he's going to be able to recover, right? So I got to give him something at the top, whether it's a peek back, whether it's a rocker step, anything to just hold him to the inside so I can accelerate and get some separation at the top of this thing. And then you see here, pumping those arms, driving out of there, catches this ball, and then sure enough, safety over here. Like I said, probably a double team, probably a little bit of safety help. That's why he gave up the middle of the field, okay? It's a great route here. Great job beating the double team by Megatron. Let's watch it full speed one more time. So again, coming out here, rip underneath, sudden stick, accelerate outside. Great route here by Calvin Johnson. Okay, so now he's going to be running a straight-up fade with an inside release, but we're going to talk about how we can get this DB completely off platform with my speed and with my feet and then run this fade to the inside, especially you bigger guys, man. Normally on a fade, I wouldn't necessarily like to say let's take an inside release because he doesn't really work to restack in this situation. But when you're a bigger physical guy and you got a quarterback who's going to give you a chance and give you that ball, this is all right. So let's watch it full speed. So he gives 3 steps to the outside, get those hands off, and then let's burst back up, make this catch in traffic. That's a great job here when it's a one-on-one situation, right? So this DB does not want to give up the inside here, I'm assuming, right? So when he attacks the outside, we're playing fade all day long. Or excuse me, he doesn't mind giving up the inside. That's what I meant to say, excuse me. Because here's the deal. Why wouldn't you play the fade, right? So we're going to set him up 3 hard steps to the outside, get him to move so I could get some separation and get vertical because you see how he's lined up. He's not all the way inside leverage. Very similar to the last coverage or last play that we were looking at where he's probably got some safety help over the middle. Actually, obviously not 29, but somewhere over the middle he's got a safety help. Somebody is going to be working with this guy, ID and Megatron, because he's the biggest mismatch on the field. So as a DB, why not play the fade? Why not run out there? Let's not let him get this outside release. Let's play the fade. Let's open up. Let's run, right? So Johnson knows that, gets him completely outside, gets him to open up that gate, gets him to turn and run, right? Low man wins. Even Megatron being as tall as he is, he's the low man right now, so I just got to make sure I get hands off of him. I got to swat here, and look where he's swatting, the back of his shoulder, point of control. Now I'm taking the inside release right here, right? And now he's bursting upfield, and then you got this safety over the top, right? So we knew he had safety help over the middle in case he wanted to just take off and run straight across the field. We got safety help, but when we're one-on-one here, on the outside, or not necessarily one-on-one, but when it's man coverage on the outside here, this is all we need when we're a bigger physical receiver who can go up and make these plays. It's a great job here by Megatron understanding this concept. This is why receivers need a high football IQ, right? So if this DB's given up, he's taken away outside, that's okay. I could run any route with an inside or an outside release, okay? A comeback might be the exception with a inside release, okay? That might be one of the exceptions here, but just make sure, guys, that we understand this DB's leverage, okay? We got to understand what he's trying to do. Let's watch it full speed one more time. So 3 hard steps to the outside, get him to open up, take the inside release. All you need when you're a bigger guy is just a little bit of separation. That's why details are so important for you much taller, much faster, or much taller, much bigger guys, okay? Details are important for every receiver, but for those bigger guys who are already a mismatch, probably not going to get a lot of press, might be seeing a lot of double team. The details matter. We can't be lazy with our feet, can't be lazy with our footwork, can't be lazy with our route running, okay? So let's watch this next clip right here. So we're just going to talk about catching mechanics here because this coverage really DB was going to let him take that inside release anyways here. Now we're coming over the top. Now on this catch, I want to focus on how his eyes follow the ball. Okay, so this is something that a lot of receivers don't do, is when this ball hits their hands, their eyes are maybe halfway here and then halfway on the ball, and they think they're looking it in, right? I want you to completely look this ball all the way into that catch and then all the way into that tuck, right? I want to catch, then secure the ball and right to the tuck. Now, my eyes have to follow this ball. You want to think of it like your eyes are a camera and you want to take a picture of this ball, okay? That's one of the best things that you can do to make sure that you keep your eyes on it. If you don't believe me, just try it. It's one of those things because when I first started playing receiver, coaching receivers, it was always like my hands were always what kind of held me back. Always had great footwork, always had routes, and then with my hands, once I heard that analogy, it was like everything changed. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you make sure that you look that thing in, you take a picture of that ball, and that's something that's really going to help you with your catching ability, and make sure that we secure every catch and that we're just automatic with it. Okay, let's watch it full speed again one more time, making this catch on this corner route. Great job here by Megatron looking this thing all the way in. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll make sure to get back to you, and I'll see you guys next time.